Everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review, and for today's review we're going to take a look at the new 7-inch Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back figures from Diamond Select Toys. Now these figures come packaged in a very similar style of packaging that we've seen with Diamond Select's Marvel Select line. You've got that binder type packaging. The figures are clearly displayed on the front. On the card back you have a road map, and then down in the corner you have some comic book art of the two characters along with the names of the characters. And then also on the top right corner you have an image of the two. Looks like it was taken from like the movie poster where they're standing there holding the Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back knuckle ring. And then on the side of the packaging you have a bigger image of the two of them standing there with the ring. And then on the back we have a look at the figures and some descriptions of the features and accessories that it comes with, along again with the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back logo. Okay, let's get these figures open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figures outside of the packaging. And though we're going to take a look at both of these figures together in this review, it should be noted that both figures are sold separately. The figures are based on the Jay and Silent Bob characters played by Kevin Smith, of course, and Jason Mewes. Specifically based on their appearance in the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back movie, though these characters have appeared in multiple Kevin Smith movies throughout the years. I think the likeness overall in the figures is pretty good. The face sculpts, I like the Mewes face sculpt a little bit better than Kevin Smith's, though I don't think Kevin Smith's is terrible by any means. Mainly I don't really like the eyes on the Kevin Smith figure. I think they're a little off. I get, like, definitely both figures come with alternate heads, and one of the head sculpts is definitely, I guess, supposed to be kind of like Silent Bob's stoner look. But I think both, and so I could have, the eyes on the one head I would have been okay with, but I think even on the head, the regular head, I think the eyes, I don't know, they just look a little off to me. But I definitely think the Mewes figure does a nice job of capturing the look of the actor from the movie. And again, I don't think the Kevin Smith face sculpt is terrible by any means. But between the two, I think the Mewes head sculpt is the better of the two. Now both figures were sculpted by Patrick Pagat. And I like the details on the figures themselves. I think they've done a really nice job all the way down to like their shoes. Silent Bob's tennis shoes has some nice details. The coats are sculpted with that kind of vinyl material, so you've got the flexibility there. And even their shirts are also kind of sculpted with that kind of soft vinyl material. They're not removable. The coats are not removable or anything, but definitely I think they've done a nice job of capturing the clothes that they wore in the movie. And then Jay's got the red I guess like running pants or whatever it was that he was wearing. And he's got the yellow jacket with, again, that kind of soft vinyl material. And then with both of their hair, it's got that kind of flexible long hair, so it doesn't really restrict the movement of the head when you're turning it, which is nice. And he's got some nice wash work on Jay's blonde hair. Now one area where the paint apps are a little off to me is on their hands, and specifically on the Silent Bob figure. There's some like rather bad kind of splotchiness on the figure. A little bit on the Jay figure, but it's much worse, at least on mine, with the Silent Bob figure. But other than that, I think the paint apps are pretty nice on these figures. So both figures come with a number of accessories, and then both figures come with a diorama piece to basically build the front and the inside of the RST video store that was seen in the movie. And we'll look closer at the diorama in a minute, but first I'll go over the other accessories that each of the figures come with. So both figures, as I mentioned before, come with alternate heads. And so here's a look at the Silent Bob alternate head. Actually, the one in my hand, I believe, is the one that came attached to the figure, and then the one that's currently on the figure is the alternate head. And you can see on this one there's a little bit more red around the eyes. He looks, definitely to me at least, looks a little more stoned with his head sculpt. But one thing I definitely like about both of these head sculpts is I like the detail like on the cap. You can see the Moby's lettering on the well, the back of the cap, which is turned around on the figure, and then on the front of the cap you've got the cow, and then you've got like little black dots to, you know, for the holes on the cap. So I really like that detail on this figure. And he's got the beard and mustache and the long hair for both head sculpts. There really isn't a whole lot of difference between the head sculpts. Mainly just the eyes are a little more bugged out on one than the other. And then for Silent Bob, he also comes with an alternate hand that holds a cigarette, and both figures basically come with this almost identical alternate hand, both of which has a cigarette in their hands. And then both figures come with membership too. Now I've got to say that these are really nice and detailed. I can't really make out the writing with the naked eye. I don't know, maybe I need to get glasses or something, but when you kind of blow it up with the camera, take a picture of it and blow it up with the camera, you can definitely see there's actual writing and stuff on this, and I think they've done a really nice job of getting some detail with this. And it's just made with kind of a soft, almost rubber type material, and you can kind of fit it in between his fingers and his thumbs if you want him to hold it. You have to have it like kind of pried between the thumb and the fingers and bend it a little bit to get it in there. But you know, it's just nice detail with that. So I got a lot of credit for them being able to get like that kind of little writing and stuff on there. So then the J figure comes again with an alternate head. Now these heads to me are almost identical. There's not a whole lot of difference between these heads at all. You could definitely tell the difference between the two heads on the Silent Bob figure, but to me there's really very little difference between, you know, his mouth is a little different, but to me there's just really not a whole lot of difference between these two head sculpts on the J figure. And then again, he comes with that alternate hand that holds the cigarette for his left hand. It's the left hand for both figures. And they're almost identical. The only way I can really tell the difference between the two is again on the Silent Bob figure. He's just got a lot more splotchiness on the hands than on the J figure. But they're basically in the same pose and both holding cigarettes. And then he also comes with a membership card, just like Silent Bob. And then he comes with one extra accessory, which is Nail's cigarette. It's in the case, and then you can actually pull the cigarettes out, or the joints, whatever you want to call them, and they're just all white and they're kind of bunched together. You know, they're all glued, or you know, sculpted as one thing, but you know, it's basically done as a bunch of cigarettes that you can pull out of the pouch. And the cigarette pouch thing is again that kind of rubber material, and you just slide the cigarettes in on the side. So that's pretty cool. And again, really nice detail with the little small lettering. Says Nails Cigarettes, and then it's got a picture of a nail, and then it's got some, it says unfiltered at the bottom. The final accessory that these figures come with are diorama pieces, and they come with two separate ones. Now basically it's just a piece of cardboard, and on the front of the cardboard is made to look like the front of the video store. And it's a nice detail. You've got the door, you've got the store hours, you've got the window, it says Faxit. You know, it looks like an old video store from the 90s. Now the sign itself that you see on the front, that's actually a sticker, and you actually get the same sticker with both figures. So if you mess up one of the stickers when you're applying it, you do get an extra set. And basically there's some, I've already applied the stickers on mine, but there's some excuse me, some black outlines up here to show you where to put the sticker, and you just peel off, you know, you peel off the back and you just stick it on. Now I will note that the outlines that they've given you for the stickers are actually a little bit smaller than the actual stickers, so you want to just be careful when you're putting it on. Make sure you get it over the lines so it doesn't look funny, and try not to get it crooked. It's a little tricky, but you have to kind of get it over both. These are two different cardboard pieces that come with each of the figures, and so you basically kind of connect them with these stickers. And then there's on the back we've got the interior of the video store, and there's another sticker that goes here. It's like the bookshelf. And so again, you got to apply it, and it kind of attaches the two cards together. And you've got the videos over here, and it's just kind of cool. And then the bases are just pieces of plastic, gray pieces of plastic. You've got the rough ends for like the sidewalk in the front, and then which they can stand on. And then you've got kind of some tiles for the inside of the store, though the tiles for the inside of the store are not really that big enough for them to stand on. So when they're standing inside the store, you kind of have to just kind of have them stand on the table or whatever, shelf or whatever it is that you're displaying the figures on. And there's no peg holes, or there's no pegs on the stands themselves. So you just kind of stand the figures on there. The figures do have peg holes, but they did not provide any pegs with the actual stands. Figures, the Silent Bob figure stands just under 7 inches tall, and then the Jay figure stands just over 7 inches tall. So Jay is a little bit taller than Bob, as he should be. I almost want to say that Bob is a little too tall. Again, maybe I'm remembering incorrectly, but I want to say for some reason that I don't remember Kevin Smith being, they're almost the same height. Jay's a little bit taller, but I remember Kevin Smith being a little bit shorter than that, but I could be wrong on that. And it's not anything major. For the most part, I'd say the scale's pretty good with these. Okay, so articulation on these figures is pretty much the same between the two of them, and for the most part, it's actually pretty good articulation. The heads are on ball joints, so they can turn their heads left and right with no problem. Even with the long hair on either figure, you can turn their heads with no problem. And they have a little bit of up and down movement, so pretty good there. Arms are attached with your standard ball hinge joints, and they can get their arms out pretty good. The arms on the coats are sculpted on the figure, as opposed, like you see with a lot of the figures, DC collectibles and stuff, when you've got figures wearing coats. So the coat on the body is that vinyl material, but on the arm it's actually sculpted on there. They've got single hinged elbows, so he can bend his elbow about that much, and then they've got swivels at the wrist, so you can turn the wrists. They don't have hinges though. No midsection joints on these, but they do have waist swivels. And even though their shirts cover the waist, you can still turn them at the waist, which is nice. And then they also have basically those hinge joints, but you really can't get them because, especially Silent Bob, because of the coat, he can only do the splits about that much, and then he can get his leg forward about that much. Again, the leg movements are restricted in part because of the clothes they wear. And even the Jay figure is kind of the same way, not nearly as bad. So he can do the splits more, and then he can get his leg forward a little bit more, but can't really do it back much. And then they have double jointed knees, so they've got good bending at the knees, and they do have good ankle pivots, so you've got the up and down movement and good ankle pivots there. And then they have peg holes on the bottom of their feet, though again the bases that they come with do not have pegs. Well, that's my review. Overall, I think these are really nice figures. I think Diamond Select Toys has done a really good job capturing the overall look and feel of these characters. If you're a big Kevin Smith fan or a Jay and Silent Bob fan, I think you'll definitely want to add these to your collection. The Kevin Smith likeness to me is maybe a little bit off, but it's not horrible. And the articulation's good, the accessories are nice, and so again, if you've always wanted a Jay and Silent Bob action figure, then I think these are definitely the ones that you want to pick up. and I think Diamond Select has done a nice job with them. These figures are hitting comic and specialty shops now, so check your local comic book store or online e-tailers like Big Bad Toy Store. And that's my review. I hope you enjoy it. Please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. And until next time, I'll catch you later.